Welcome to another edition of Inside EKU Sports. The final game of the football season comes up Saturday as the Colonels take on St. Francis. Outside the conference, Mark, you lost to Austin Peay in a game by 7 that was really a tale of two halves last Saturday.
Sure. Yeah, we played really well in the first half. I mean, I was very pleased to see how we did, and it was great to see us go on a nice 2-minute drive at the end of the half. I thought the players handled the situation really, really well because it came down to it. I mean, every second counted because we scored a touchdown with 3 seconds to go. They did a great job of handling that situation well, which is great to see because you don't have many of those, and to see them do well was good. And then even to start the second half, thought we did a good job. We sky kicked and didn't have a great one there, and our defense did a great job of getting us off the field and getting the ball back for the offense. Drove, got a field goal out of that one right there, and we're up 24-7. About 10 minutes to go in the third. I mean, still plenty of time on the clock. You're not in a time-sensitive thing at that point in time, but you're certainly in a great situation. And then that was kind of the end of all positive. At that point in time, there were 6 drives on each side of the ball. Offensively, we got 51 yards, 2 first downs, and 0 points, and they got 288 yards and 24 points. So they just outplayed us certainly in the fourth quarter and really down almost the whole second half. So we haven't played real well in the fourth quarter. Even in our wins, we haven't done a very good job in that area. So that's certainly not been positive. We got to turn that around this week and be ready to play full quarters of football.
The team that comes in, St. Francis, the Red Flash out of the Northeast Conference, won their conference last year, went to the playoffs, gave Montana a good game. They're 5-5 this year. I know they have a very, very good defense.
Yeah, their defense is outstanding. I mean, statistically speaking, they are the best defense that we've faced so far this year. I don't know if personnel matches that exactly. I mean, every conference is a little different and so forth, but they're really good. So I think they're 5th in scoring defense, they're 10th in total defense, they're 4th in red zone defense. They're not giving up very many touchdowns in the red zone. They're really, really good. So I think where you highlight them, their defensive backs are really skilled. Number 1, number 21, their corner and their safety, they're as good as almost anybody we've seen this year. They're both really good. I think their linebackers are active, run fairly well, and they're physical. A couple guys rushing off the edge are pretty good. So they're really good defensively. They move a lot because they're not necessarily the biggest group up front, but they move a lot and blitz and add on and create problems. So, yeah, they're going to present some problems for our offense, but I think we put a really good game plan together.
The running game, I mean, it could be rainy, will be windy on Saturday. If teams establish a rush against them, and it hadn't been easy to do, it seems like that has been part of the key, hasn't it, against St. Francis this year?
Absolutely. So, I always look at every angle of a game, and their 5 losses were the 5 most rushing yards that they allowed on the season. So 1 through 5 ended up being losses for them. So certainly if you can establish the run game, but I think that's probably one of those stats that you can look at, and you could probably say that almost every single week, but it certainly definitely stood out in looking at them statistically game by game for them, for sure. So it's probably very much like turnovers. If you not as high a correlation, but if you look at it, the games that you're positive on, you tend to win a lot more, and the games you're negative on, you don't. But yeah, I certainly think that's going to play a part, and obviously we don't know exactly how the weather's going to go because it's a couple days away, but at this point in time, it looks like it's going to be really windy. It looks like it's going to be a wet day, so that would tend to lead to even more rushing for both teams just because you're not as successful in the passing game if that's the situation. I
want to take the last couple of minutes here to talk about, you say goodbye to 13 seniors. Good news is it's a small class, so that means a lot of guys coming back for next year. That'll be a discussion for another day. But one place you're going to lose both your punter and your kicker, and both Lucas Williams and Keith Rusak have been long time contributors very well to this program.
Absolutely. We're certainly going to miss those guys on the field and what they bring off the field as well. They're both part of the player staff voted on by their peers to be leaders for the program, and that's due to their work ethic, what year-round, what those guys put in the weight room and in their working their craft is really good. So Keith has been I mean, we've talked about him a bunch. He's been nothing short of remarkable. He's tremendous. Really has helped us as far as field position quite a bit. We're going to miss him. Hope he's going to have some opportunities after this is all said and done. And Lucas has been really good for us. He's one of the top couple guys in the conference. Was really good last week, hitting a couple field goals. So we're certainly going to miss both those guys on and off the field.
We know, of course, Tim Boyle, the quarterback, out of eligibility after this year. Ryan Marcouche, a great wide receiver for you. On defense, we've had Jeff Kennedy on the show, graduate student, great in the classroom as well. Luter Gene Lewis has been the guy that's really, from last year to this year, has popped his game up. He leads the OVC in quarterback sacks with 10. That's number 6 on the all-time EKU sack list. Jessie Small has a record at 13. What a season Luter has had.
Absolutely. And I think we all anticipated that within the program that he would. He had a really unique story coming in where he came from a junior college where he played his first year and second year and got some things mixed up as far as advising with grades and how he's going to graduate. So his third year at junior college, he didn't play football. So before coming in here, he didn't play football the year before, and he'd been a linebacker and played a little bit of defensive end and pass rush situations, but play in and play out, he's a linebacker, and we transitioned him over to defensive end because we thought that's what his skill set was for. And it was just okay last year. Was played a lot, but you saw a kid that hadn't played football in a year and was playing a new position and has worked his tail off. I mean, had a great off season in the weight room and in his personal development to getting better at the position, and you're seeing the benefits, him getting the success that he's having, I think, is a tribute to him and his work ethic to become the best that he can be. Coach Stewart has done a great job of developing him, and it's shown on the field.
Okay, Mark, thanks. We'll miss all those seniors. Good luck against St. Francis.
Thank you very much.
All right, that's Mark Elder. Don't forget that it's Faculty Staff Appreciation Day. It's presented by Anthem. EK faculty and staff will receive free admission from themselves and one guest with a valid EKU ID. Hope to see you all out at the stadium. We will have radio coverage at 100.7 FM on our TuneIn app on the phone, also on EKUsports.com for the internet and the OVC digital network. Well, we mentioned Jessie Small. He's gone into the EKU Hall of Fame, and we'll hear from the all-time single-season sack leader when Inside EKU Sports continues.
Every day is a concept that few people can commit to. Every day requires a level of dedication that forces you to test your limits.
Every day I'll give back to the community because I draw strength from their support. Every day the sounds of your cheers will echo through my mind. Knowing that you have my back means I can always look forward.
Every day I'll be too tired to sweat and my bones will ache. Every day will provide me with the slight edge that I need to succeed. Champions are built every day.
Jessie Small was a great defensive end for the football team at EKU, and he joins the Eastern Kentucky University Athletics Hall of Fame this year. Jesse, you played from 1985 to 1988. Man, there were some good teams back then. What do you remember?
Yeah, it was some great teams. I remember my coaches that I've played with, like Coach Buddy Ryan and some of the people, Reggie White, Jerome Brown, the great defense, Gang Green defense at the Philadelphia Eagles.
That was the first pro team you played for. Played
Yes.
for 3 NFL teams, and then played Hamilton of the CFL as well. And I would assume Eastern set the table for you to have that success in the pros afterwards.
Well, Eastern was my stepping stone. Coach Kidd and Coach Taylor, Coach Tenera, they helped mold me into the athlete that I needed to be to make it to that next level. So I owe them a great deal.
I remember the year you had 13 quarterback sacks. That was a season record that still stands at Eastern Kentucky. You could get to the quarterback.
Yes, but I owe that to my fellow defensive players. We had such a great defensive group that no one was weak enough that they could double team me or double team anybody else, so they had to concentrate on each individual, which allowed me to open up.
Got to have defense to be a good football team, don't you?
Yeah, offense is pretty, but defense wins championships.
Yeah. What did you, coming out of Thomasville, Georgia, you end up at EKU. You had to grow up when you came to college, didn't you?
I realized that after I left, because when I was here, I thought I was grown. But after leaving college and realizing what life has to offer, I realized that I was just a kid pretending to be grown, but I grew up in the process.
And you have not quit with your education since you left EKU, and you now have a doctorate degree.
Yes, I wanted to be an inspiration to other younger fellas coming up with me, that realizing that a lot of people have the quote, the dumb athlete, but that's not true. What I find out that is we put more effort toward making our skill honed and concentrate a lot on that and not most on academics. But when you put your mind to it and you start concentrating on academics, you realize that even though it might take a while, you can do it, you can make it happen.
So your focus has been on mentoring youth.
Yes, I want to help them surpass what I experienced. I didn't have that mentor in my life, that father figure in my life that helped me realize, hey, you got this. Your brain can take you places that your body never can. And I want them to realize that you can do this.
Jessie, congratulations for everything you've done at Eastern, but after Eastern as well. It's an inspiration.
Yeah, I want to thank Eastern Kentucky. They helped me become the man that I am.
Proud of you. Jessie Small, now in the Eastern Kentucky University Athletics Hall of Fame.
EKU is the campus beautiful. The school of opportunity, where you are always welcome. And it feels like home. We're changing how we look, but our mission is still the same: to help you expand your knowledge, discover your passion, and unlock your purpose. Be a Colonel. Your time is now.
One hit high and deep.
Back of the end zone. Brown got it.
Moore drives inside, put it up.
See this one swung and missed it.
Now Smith again, block point Tech. Nice turnaround by Johnson. Near post. Kick in.
Any place, anytime. Find it here. The OBC Digital Network.
Eastern Kentucky is part of this AmGM Grand main event. The first two games they play are on campus. They call that the undercard games. And then Eastern Kentucky will go out to Las Vegas to play in the middleweight division, 2 games right before Thanksgiving. Dan McHale joins us now. So on these undercard games, you played one of the heavyweights in the middleweight one. You beat Rice to open the season in Houston last Friday night, and it was a game that came down right to the end, and your guys found a way to win it.
It was great. It was a great opening game, opening win against a really good team in the Conference USA. And we didn't play overly well, as you know, but we found a way to win. Down 13 with 8 minutes to go. I don't care who you're playing, to come back and win the game the way we did, it was special.
20 points by Dedrick Boyd, your freshman guard. He had to hit 3 straight foul shots when he got fouled with 5.9 seconds to go, and he was smooth from the foul line.
I mean, what can you say about a Division I debut on the road, having to make the free throws, didn't even think twice, made them, and then we got the stop late and we were able to steal the victory.
And Nick Mayo was special that night. He's been special through 2 games, and we'll talk about the other in a second, but he goes 25 points to the career high, 12 rebounds.
Yeah, he's been great. I mean, like I said, he worked so hard this whole offseason, improving every facet of his game, especially rebounding, and I was really proud of that. So back-to-back double-doubles for Nick is just going to be the tip of the iceberg for him.
An Ole Miss team then hosts you on Monday night on the second game of this opening of the season road trip, and Nick Mayo has another double-double. I thought he was special in that game.
Yeah.
He got double and triple teams, and he has now had 7 double-doubles, starts the season, and when I look down, he's had like 36 straight games in a row, double figures.
Yeah.
So Nick's consistency is there as well.
Yeah, no, he's calm, cool, doesn't get rattled, playing on the road, against big-time athletes, and I thought he was the best player on the floor. He played great.
Absolutely.
But, really proud of the guys that game. We never went away. We kept coming back and kept coming back, and I told the guys, with Adesante Giss playing, to start 2 freshman guards on the road in the SEC against older, experienced guards, it was baptism by fire, and I thought Jacquez Hobbs and Dedrick Boyd really handled themselves really well.
Yeah, Hobbs had 6 assists in that ball game. The one thing is that you've got to continue to work with them to find shot selection,
Yeah.
Dan, and when to shoot, when to pass, that type of thing. But I see that this is going to be a nice work in progress with these 2 freshman guards, plus a couple other freshmen coming off the bench.
AJ played really well, especially against Rice. He had a great game, and so did Peyton as well. I've never had a player apologize to me for shooting too much. Dedrick Boyd came up to me in the airport yesterday and said, Coach, I'm sorry, I didn't realize I took 17 shots. I can't do that anymore. I got to play within the team. So that's the type of kid he is. He didn't realize it, and I said, listen, I'm okay with your score. I said, we'll work on shot selection, watch a lot of film together. But special group of guys, went on the road, battle-tested, had a great game against Ole Miss. You look at our shooting percentages, and it's something we can learn from and teach from. So really excited about this group.
After the game against Kentucky State at home, you then go out to Las Vegas, and you'll begin with a Monday afternoon game against Prairie View A&M. Win or lose, you play in the second game on Wednesday, and against two teams that have big wins already in Georgia State or Eastern Washington.
Yeah, I mean, we're focusing on Prairie View right now. They're a good team, and we're excited to get out there and play a great game out in Las Vegas in a beautiful arena, and then win or lose, like you said, Eastern Washington knocked off Stanford, and Georgia State's already beat Rice so far this year. So either way, it's going to be great competition for us, and that's why I did the scheduling. I want to schedule and be able to prepare us for OVC play.
Dan, good luck out in Las Vegas for more Colonel basketball, and I know we'll be back home eventually as well.
Absolutely, Greg. Thanks for having me.
Thanks. Depending on when you see Inside EKU Sports, it may or may not have already happened, but we do want to mention that the season opener for Eastern Kentucky on their home court is Thursday against Kentucky State. The tip-off for that one is 7 o'clock. Then the next game up in the MGM Grand main event is on Monday afternoon at 2 o'clock our time against Prairie View A&M, and we'll have the coverage at EKUsports.com with our internet call and also on radio at 100.7. Well, the EKU cross-country team is running for a national title as they are the first ever conference team to make the nationals. We'll be back with one of their runners when we come back.
We are more than just athletes. We inspire scholars. We inspire leaders. We inspire champions. We inspire family. This is the Ohio Valley Conference.
In the 70-year history of the Ohio Valley Conference, there has never been a cross-country team on the women's side run in the NCAA National Championships. That will change on Saturday at Louisville when Eastern Kentucky will participate as one of 13 at-large teams in the field of 30 teams. And Haley Yost is one of the runners. That is a tremendous honor, and you did it by having a good run as a team, third in the regionals, Southeast Regionals last week. What a thrill.
Yes, we're all really excited.
What was the word? I think you knew because they used this thing called flow track to follow that you probably ran as a team, but it wasn't sealed, it wasn't official till the next day. So how nervous was the team, and then how excited were you when you found out officially we're running in Louisville in the Nationals?
We knew we had a good shot according to FlowTrack's prediction, but we weren't positive yet, so we were excited, but we were trying to kind of contain that excitement and not get ahead of ourselves until it was official.
Why has this team been so good, better than any other cross-country team in the history of the sport in the OVC?
I think we have the depth. We have a good group of girls behind Charlotte, so we have that low stick, as we call it, would be Charlotte, and then we have a group behind her that's kind of interchangeable. Gladys, for example, really had a great race at regionals, so we have people that can be interchanged, or if someone's having a bad day, we have someone else that will be stepping into that position. So
if people don't know, 7 run, 5 scores count. If there's a tiebreaker, the 6th running time counts. And how much, I know Charlotte's out there, she was 3rd among well over 200 runners in the regional, and she's nationally ranked, but the rest of you run somewhat at times in a pack, right?
Yes, so that's what we did at conference. Actually, we just kind of took it as a pack run and tried to stick together. But usually Louisa was like 13th, I think, in the region, so she's up there as well. And from there, we're not too far apart. We have a pretty close, pretty close in time from one runner to the next.
How much strategy will there be? I mean, you're going against the 30 best teams in the country, tremendous runners from all over the country. So is it strategy, or do you just have to go out and run your best race?
I think it's just keep doing what we're doing and just lay it out there. There's not much we can do. It's almost controlling those nerves and not getting caught up in what everybody else is doing, but maintaining what we've been doing all year.
You're from New Tripoli, Pennsylvania, up north of Philadelphia on the east side of the state. How did you end up becoming a college runner rather than, I know you said you played soccer and other sports as well? So.
Yes, so I started running when I was in 8th grade because I didn't want to lose my middle school track and field day mile run. And then from there, it just kind of took off. I thought I was going to play soccer in college and kind of shocked my parents by choosing running. And I chose Eastern. It was a school that believed in me, and they believed in me from the beginning. So I wanted to just kind of on a whim. I'm kind of spontaneous in that way. Just was like, okay, I guess I'm going to Kentucky.
Awesome. Well, congratulations to you. Congratulations to the team. From all Colonel fans, we'll be rooting for you Saturday. Have a great run at Tom Sawyer Park in Louisville. I know you guys have already represented this university so well, and Saturday will be no different.
Thank you.
All right, that's Haley Yost, one of the cross-country runners on the women's team. Again, that national championship in Louisville on Saturday. And that does it for another edition of Inside EKU Sports. You can always keep up with Colonel Athletics by following our channels on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Next week is Thanksgiving week. We'll take a break and then be back with you in 2 weeks. Until then, so long, everybody.